Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and this is the Beast Quest Series 6 Retrospective video. Uh, so with these kinds of videos, what I do, I go through each series of Beast Quest and give them their moment in the spotlight that I believe they all deserve. Highlight the good points, gloss over the negative points, even though I still mention them, so yeah. It's pretty much like a review, but also a kind of summary of the series as well as my own personal thoughts on them. Being the Beast reviewer of the Beast Quest community, I do focus more on the Beast perspective, but I do talk about the story as well. So don't think I'm being a bit one-sided with talking about the Beast instead of the story, because at the end of the day, that is what I'm known for, to talk about beasts. And what can I say about that? I love having that privilege of being able to talk about the beasts and just the beasts. So with Series 6 of Beast Quest, I prepared for this video by rereading the series, watching Lucas Green's series review on Series 6, as well as Jack Griffin's Beast review on Series 6, and as well as getting a comment from Jack in my Series 4 retrospective on what he wants to be said about Series 6, which I will say when I get to each beast if I remember. Ultimately, this is just talking about them in how I see them, by also bringing in my friends Lucas and Jack when appropriate. So anyway, let's get into this. Series 6 is known as the World of Chaos. It takes place in the realm of Chaonia and is a continuation of from the cliffhanger left in Series 5. And to me, in general, this series is a good follow-up. Actually, it explores an interesting realm that is kind of confusing. Reminds you of Gorgonia, but I'd argue in some cases it's worse, in some cases it's better. So I think it's actually interesting, and I like Chaonia. But the beasts that are in Chaonia that rule this place is Komodo the Lizard King, Muro the Rat Monster, Fang the Bat Fiend, Merc the Swamp Man, Terra, Curse of the Forest, and Vespic the Wasp Queen. So, talk as a summary of these beasts, what we have are essentially three animals, two two great beasts here, and a tree, which is the only one which, along with Merc, is the only one that's not pretty much a big animal. I don't really see Vespic as a big animal. Whilst she is technically a big wasp, I would say it's a bit harder to tell, unlike Komodo, Muro, and Fang. So, whilst Vespic it does fall into the big animal category, like Komodo, Muro, and Fang, she's on a different league to them, I guess. But yeah, four big animals, one tree, and one swamp creature. So already seems interesting. Let's talk about each beast one by one. What I need to say first, though, is that the quest for Tom here is to get ingredients for the cure for a potion which will heal her mother, Freya. Will cure her mother, Freya, which, okay, interesting plot point, and similar to Series 4, but instead of bringing her back to life, no, it's just healing her. Which, okay, better than Series 4, I'd say that. So the items that is retrieved in each episode is a black cactus, a jade ring, which is on his tail, by the way, a red jewel, not the red jewel on his belt, some vines, which I believe are on his leg, a white flower, which is at the top of him, and a wasp stinger, which is obviously where the stinger is on a wasp. So that's the ingredients. They all have their own part to play in the potion. Some double up on previous potion ingredients, which, okay, a bit confusing, but I can't actually list them all down because I know I have the cards from somewhere, but I don't know where. So I'm not going to say what each one does. But what I can talk about, though, are the beasts. So we're going to start off with Komodo. As a starter for this series, personally to me, he is a good book. Uh, whilst the abilities are generic, I personally think the design is simple but good at the same time. And whilst the fight ended in a bit of a disappointing way, being established as quite a hard beast to kill, virtually indestructible, where it took a misstep from Komodo causing him to fall to his death, is interesting to see. And whilst I know there are some people which just trash the beast because of the way that he died, personally to me, I would say being the first beast that died in that way, is sets a standard for what is a kind of disappointing way to die. But for Komodo, it's not a bad way to die either, because he's established to be a hard beast to kill. And he only fell because his tail was chopped off, meaning he lost control when it came to turning sharply as he could. So he just fell off a cliff. And yeah, he fell to his death and died. But it's not like he meant to. So, but yeah, whilst I'm aware it's trashed on multiple times, it's not really laughable to me, because at the end of the day, like, I think it was all right. That's all I can really say about Komodo. It was just all right. As for Jack's opinion on Komodo, because uh, yeah, Jack's opinion on Komodo is that Komodo is an overrated beast. As a personal viewpoint, I don't really see how he's overrated, because yes, I'm aware I do have a bit of a likeness for him. That, I wouldn't say that means he's overrated. I know he was Year Unknown's favorite when we did that special collab. But other than that, I don't really see him talked about that much, to the point where he gets so much positive feedback. Because at the end of the day, he's just a giant lizard, and his name is literally named after a breed of lizard called a Komodo dragon. So I'm not going to say that Komodo's overrated. I completely disagree with that. Lucas's opinion on Komodo is full of bad words, which I can't say on video, but he does have a very strong dislike for this beast, to the point where honestly I think he'd choose Karaka over him, and I know he despises Karaka. But personally to me, I also don't see that. I'm aware where his dislike is coming from with the Komodo vs. Convul fight, which I did on Battle of the Beast, which was the second battle I've ever done on this channel, I think. And okay, yes, he was rooting for Convul. Back at the time we chose these beasts, I picked Komodo, he picked Convul, because we needed lizard, reptilian-like beasts. And yes, that battle Komodo won. And ever since then, his disdain for this beast has just been active the whole time. To the point where this happened like 4 years ago, and even now he would just constantly say of like, oh, this beast is terrible because such and such, he shouldn't have beaten Combo. And I'm just like, it's been 4 years, let it go. Yeah, I'm fully aware I do quote fights that are from 4 years ago as well, like the Silver versus Serpio fight. But I don't really go on a tangent of saying of how, oh, Silver should have won. I don't I don't go out of my way to try and guilt trip the other person to make them feel bad for choosing the wrong beast. At the end of the day, I host that fight. And whilst I stand by my decision of Komodo winning, because it's what happened 4 years ago, now if they battle, yes, it might be different, because it was a close fight. But having someone constantly saying to me of how bad of a decision that is, it can affect people. And yes, I know I probably should be saying this to Lucas rather than on camera, but I feel like if I say it here, I'm more likely to be actually heard and understood. This goes along with the Silver versus Serpio fights as well, but most of the time I do bring up that fight as well because he tries to forget about that one. But he doesn't try to forget about the fight where he won. That's all I can really say about Komodo. To me, he is a perfectly rated beast and just okay. Wouldn't say he's fantastic because he's not. He's not a great beast. I'll just say he's good. Not maybe even okay. But for me, Komodo, all right. That's my tangent said. Lucas, listening when you watch this, I am being serious about what I said, and please stop bringing up that fight because my opinion on Conval is the same as yours, where he's better than Komodo. I only had to pick Komodo because you already picked Conval. Okay, so it wasn't even a favoritism choice either. Maybe back then it was, but it doesn't mean that it will be the same now. I'm going to stop this tangent because it is annoying me. And if Lucas still wants to talk about it, then yes, just don't say of how bad of a decision it was, because I believe at that point it was the right decision. And I'm not going to say whether I agree with it or not, because ultimately it can go either way. I'm done with this conversation now. If you want to talk about this more, Lucas, just give me a message, okay? But let's get back to the retrospective. Oh, God, what a tangent that was. Okay, I think I'm done now. Up next, we have Muro the Rat Monster. For me, in my opinion, he's kind of the least impressive of these books, and I'm not really a big fan of rats in general. Yes, there are some exceptions, but Muro is just like, nah, I'm not feeling this one because it's just too much like the animal it's based on. He does have a good ability of being able to control an army of rats, so I'll give him that, and Jack even says it's cool. But ultimately, I can't remember much from Euro apart from he's blind, his whiskers are razor sharp, and the ingredient for the potion that Tom needs is on his tail. Other than that, that's all I can remember. I don't remember any other abilities apart from a horrible stench. And the design doesn't really strike me as interesting, and the fight, not great in my opinion. So, Jack, I do understand your opinion here. I know that you believe this beast is underrated, but to me, I can't find it in me to be like, yeah, this is a great beast. Personally, to me, I think Koldo is a better beast, and Koldo is my least favorite Series 5. Probably not a big surprise there, but to me, I can't find it in me to actually like Muro. Up next, we have Fang the Bat Fiend. Now, starting off with Series 6, you start off with a good starter, bad second book, but then you go on to this beast, and I agree with Jack here. It started going up. The series started going up in greatness with a great story as well with those miners. You got Fang's great abilities of flapping his wings and making everyone around him go blind with a foggy haze. Interesting fight that took place in a mine that you wouldn't expect it to happen in, but he's a bat, so okay, I'll let him have that. And then ending up where he got drowned, and something which Jack pointed out, which I forgot about, the miners that Tom freed from that weren't grateful whatsoever. They were upset that Tom kind of killed Fang and flooded their workplace. Now they got nothing to do. So Fang to me is a great beast in my opinion. Well, not great, good. He set the standard for what Bat Beast should bring, and from other Bat Beasts which came after him, being Krytor, and there was another, Leptica. Whilst in my opinion Fang set the standard, Krytor and Leptica have surpassed Fang, which is a great thing to hear because you want future seasons to get better and better, and whilst most of the time they don't, to know that a certain aspect of it does improve is a good thing. So, Fang, whilst you are the worst of the Bat Beasts, you set a great standard and you've done a brilliant job. Personally, I can reread this book time and time again, and I do understand why it's your second favourite year. I know, no, I do understand why it's your second favourite, Jack. Third place, we have Merc. Third place. Up next, we have Merc the Swamp Man. I am so tired today. I've been working all day. Yeah. Up next, we have Merc the Swamp Man. And what I need to say about him is that, quite frankly, to me, he is a bit of a forgettable beast. And what I mean by that is, I remember reading this book, I remember beast reviewing this book, and then after that, I never looked back at him. And when we got to the later seasons, I completely just forgot he existed at some point. And then I only started recognizing him again when Jack pointed out his great hypnotism ability and the swamp manipulation one. So thank you, Jack. And how much of a threat he became in my latest Battle of the Beast tournament. So because of that, my recognition for Merc has gone up, and personally to me, he is a good beast now. Actually, great, I would say. However, what pulls him down is that, to me, he is kind of forgettable. So what I mean by that now is that the fight is forgettable because I can't remember, even though I just read this book and watched 2 reviews on this book as well, I don't remember how Merc was defeated. And after having 3 perspectives on how this fight was done and still not knowing how he was defeated, just solidifies my point of him being a bit forgettable. So that is my gripe with Merc. However, that aside, abilities are great and the design looks incredible. Kind of reminds me of Abomination from the Incredible Hulk. So you got that going for you there. Up next, we have the first of another set of beasts. However, unlike the Bat Beasts, I don't like this set. So up next, we have Terra, Curse of the Forest, who, by the way, I will agree with Jack here. Hold on, where is it? Yeah, who, by the way, I will agree with Jack with being the most terrifying beast in the book. He does look terrifying. He has quite a good ability as well, trapping your victims in wood. However, personally to me, in a future book, it's done better. But Terra actually introducing that ability and looking terrifying in the book is kind of a good book to read when it's Halloween. Yes, I missed Halloween to read this book, but I would read this book on Halloween. But I don't remember much from this story. From actually most of these books, I actually don't remember the story well. I remember Komodo's where you set off on the quest. Fang is the whole minor thing, and then I remember the next book, but I don't remember the story from Euro, Merc, and Terra. Yeah, so that's not a great thing. To me, Terra sets the standard for what a tree beast is going to be like, and whilst in my opinion, one of those tree beasts have surpassed Terra. That's Captiva. However, to me, Querzo and Terra are just equally as equal. And that's not a good format either. To me, these beasts are not that good. I'm not a big fan of tree beasts, full stop, but when you bring in the fact that Terra set the standard for it, my expectations for Querzo and Captiva were low. And to know that they exceeded my expectations, not by a lot, might I add, it just leads to a not very impressive book. What saves Terra though is that being in a series with 6 books, with one or 2 books possibly being worse than him, kind of hides his flaws and makes him seem like a good book in this series. That's a problem which Querzo and Captiva don't have, because I have highlighted them as the worst of their series, and I stand by that decision. To me, they are the worst of their series. But Terra, for me, it's just a middle of the road beast, and really sets a standard which I'm just not impressed by, and doesn't make me excited to see any more tree beasts. If there was any kind of beast which can disappear off the face of the earth, it is the tree beast. And I despise monkey beasts, so this is just impressive here. Unless a tree beast comes along and makes me actively excited to read this book again, chances are my opinion on these books are going to stay the same, and Terra is just a middle of the road beast for me. Terrifying cover and terrifying pictures in the book, I'll give you that, Jack. But I can't find it in me to be like, yeah, you're a good beast. You're good compared to the other tree beasts, but that's not a brilliant thing to say. Now, up next is, in my opinion, Jack's opinion, and Luke's opinion, to be the best beast of Series 6. For the story ending on an incredible cliffhanger, but also introducing one of the most badass beasts there are. Otherwise known as my girl, it is, of course, Vespic the Wasp Queen. Now, my first time reading this was actually for the Beast Review, and as some of you may know, I've had this book long before I did the Beast Review, but for me, Series 6 I just glossed over because of the impressions I got from Euro and Terra and Komodo. So that's why I glossed over Series 6 and skipped straight to Series 7. But when I read it for my Beast Review, I was like, okay, yeah, okay. Please end on a bang. It ended on an explosion. And for that shot Vespic up to be my favourite beast at that time when I done the Beast Review, and when I did the ranking after my Series 10 Beast Review. Now, obviously, Vespic has fallen down in my ranking, but to me, she is still an incredible beast. And being one of the final 10 in my current tournament I'm doing just solidifies my opinion as her being the best beast of this series, but also boosts her up in my ranking. I'm fully aware that my opinion does change very quickly on so many beasts because there's a lot of beasts to talk about. For me, my opinion on Vespic stays the same. She's an incredible beast, and whilst I have slandered her in the past, she has never, I repeat, never stopped being my favourite of Series 6. And yes, that has kind of gave you a hint to how the ranking's going to go, but I do not care. For me, this is an incredible fight in it. Great abilities for a Wasp, which some I wasn't even expecting with the whole very skilled fighter kind of thing. A very majestic but intimidating design, and those claws. Oh my, that's probably my favorite part about Vespic, being the claws. Vespic is a fantastic finale to the series, and also ends on another cliffhanger. That one being where they're back in Avantia, but the flags at the top of the castle are different by a lot. And now you're just thinking, hold on, what's going on? So with that, that is Series 6. And as a personal opinion, to me, Series 6 is... it's a series. On a story perspective, it is kind of forgettable. Being a rehash of Series 4, but with some differences, making it seem interesting. But with the side plots, I can't tell you any of them, because I don't remember any of them. I can tell you some things about the beast, some being great, others being... but then, to me, it's like 50-50. You got 50% of the beast not being that impressive, but then you got another 50% which range from good to fan-flipping-tastic. Hold on, let's look at that. Yeah, ranges from good to fan flipping-tastic, which, if you divide the good to fan flipping-tastic, you have one which is fan flipping-tastic, one that is great, and one that is good, which doesn't sound as good then, because then you got three beasts and then one fantastic, fan flipping-tastic beast. So with that, that does kind of knock it down, but as a whole, this series is a great continuation of Series 5, and whilst, in my opinion, is not as good as Series 5, it the finale is on the same level, story-wise, in my opinion. And beast-wise, the finale is better, in my opinion. So, as I said in my Series 5 retrospective video, I will talk about which beast I prefer out of Amictus and Vespic. To me, Vespic is my girl, is my favourite out of those two bug beasts. Whilst I am aware that Vespic may be a bit of a rip-off of Amictus, it's a good rip-off, don't even deny it. And I like, when it comes to fights, I like a jungle set, and don't get me wrong, Claw kind of set a bad standard, so easily impressed when it comes to that. I love settings when it's in like a castle or a city like environment. So Vespic already starts off great by continuing on a kind of battle format that Stealth, I believe, introduced. Technically Sting as well, but it was Stealth properly established the whole fight in a city kind of thing, and Vespic took that, elevated it, and made it better with an aerial battle. I love my aerial battles, in case it's not obvious, and if I could do my beast review again on Vespic, Vespic's fight will easily be a 10. So with that, let's get to the ranking. So in last place, I am sorry, Jack. I know you believe this beast is underrated and deserves some recognition, and whilst I see your points, I can't, in good faith, believe that I can support that. So that, my least favorite is Muro the Rat Monster. Now, what I need to say about Muro, to me, he's just a giant rat, and he gets one-upped by Vermok almost immediately. Well, not immediately, but very quickly. And then other rat beasts, even the one that kind of looks like a rat, I believe it's Macroxa or Zinara, Series 32. I don't know how I'm pronouncing these names, but Zinara, I think it is, the one that kind of looks like a rat for Series 32. He already looks so much better than Muro. He, I don't know. But they look so much better than Muro. So Muro is a rat beast that set the standard, which is already a low standard, and just by design alone, the other rat beasts have one-upped it by a lot. I do appreciate the controlling rats ability, that is cool, but that's kind of it. You do have other abilities from Muro, but to me, they're just not as wow. So, yeah, for me, I had to say Muro. Yeah. 5th place, we have Terra, Curse of the Forest. To me, has a good ability with the wood encasing. However, that gets one-upped in the future series. You set the low standard for what tree beasts are going to be like, and yeah, I'm not disappointed with the other tree beasts. I'm just not impressed either. So congratulations, Terra. You kind of showed me what tree beasts are going to bring. The only reason why it's 5th place, though, above Muro, is because of the art inside of the book when it comes to Terra being terrifying. So, oh, that's why he's called Terra. Oh my god. I definitely did not just realize that. 4th place, we have Komodo the Lizard King. Now, I'm not going to go into that rant I did when talking about Komodo, but what I will say is, though, the starter in the very next series is by miles better. And if, no, not going to say it. Not going to say it. Not going to say it. To me, he is still a good starter. Whilst he's not as good as the starter before him or the starter after him, he just sits there as a middle-of-the-road starter, which is mid. Wait, oh yeah, that's why it's middle of the road. But he's a good starter, in my opinion. Alright beast, good design for what he is. Yes, he's a bigger animal, but I'm not going to judge on that, even though I did that from Euro. I do understand what Jack means by him being overrated, but I also can't agree with that because he is perfectly racist in my opinion, because I don't hear much praise coming from him. I'm aware this is Year Unknown's favourite, and was I do see why. In my opinion, no, I don't. I can't agree. Uh, but yeah, I will continue to defend Komodo's because he does not deserve hate, but he doesn't deserve love either. But yeah, third place we have. I'm actually surprised this one got third place. Fang the Bat Fiend. And what I need to say about him is that he has, apart from Vespic, the most memorable story of all these beasts, and quite a good ability, which has not been brought back, and whilst I'll love to see it brought back, I know is not going to be as good as Fang's. Because I think with the whole environment that Tom fought Fang in, being a mine shaft, it's just not going to get one upped because you got sharp rocks everywhere you go. It's quite an enclosed environment. So to know that the mine shaft was big enough for this giant bat is great, but also not being able to get through the tighter spaces kind of is interesting to me. I like that. And it was a good fight in my opinion. It ended with him drowning. So yes, Tom had to rely on his hearing to defeat Fang, and the miners at the end not being grateful for Tom killing Fang and flooding the mine shaft. I don't blame them. Like it's their job that just ended very quickly. But yeah, for me, Fang is a great beast in my opinion. A good beast in my opinion, with a great with a standout ability and a great fight. The only thing that stops him from being in the top two is his design, but that's not a bad thing. I remember when I first read Fang, because I always went out with my parents when they went shopping. I would normally go to find a seat somewhere and just sit there for hours on end reading these books. And one I remember reading more than any is Fang. um, yeah, so to go back with what I said, yes, I read Fang I did uh, way before I did Beast Views, just not Vespic. So yeah, I skipped Muro, I skipped Terra, I skipped the ones that didn't really look interesting. I don't know what drew me to Fang, but none of the other Beasts of Series 6 drew me to them. But yeah, Fang, in my opinion, stands out to be great, and I just remember the memories of sitting in the shopping centre just reading these books. Oh, that book, and also some books from Series 8. None from 7, though. I don't know. I'll talk about that one when I do a Series 7 retrospective. But second place, we have Merc the Swamp Man. And being honest, is it really a surprise? We know what my number one is. But Merc is started off to me being just a middle of the road beast, just kind of forgettable. And whilst I believe his fight in the book is forgettable, because I don't remember how he is defeated, what I will say is that his abilities and his design saves him from being a bad beast. And then his performance in Battle of the Beasts, yes, he's dead now, but that just elevated him to being a fantastic beast. Has done incredible. And losing to the Feathered Fiend, I would say, is actually not a bad feat at all. Yeah, he died in the top 20, but that's not a bad thing. He made it into round 3. So that is good on a beast standard, because only 20 beasts can say that they made it to the top 3. 19 beasts can say they made it to the top 3 of this tournament, and Merc is one of them. The other one is also in round 5, the final 10, being Vespic the Wasp Queen. Does that math add up? No, Merc made it to round 4. But yeah, Vespic. No, does that make sense? What round did Merc die in? Griff died in round 4, so that means Merc must have died in round 3. But that means there were 40 beasts left. Okay. Okay, so Merc died in the top 40. 39. Top 39. So, okay, there we go. Sorted. But yeah, my favourite is Vespic. And to be honest, it's not a surprise. Vespic is by miles better than the other beasts of the series because it stands out as memorable. Yes, I wasn't interested by her design originally, but I judged a book by its cover back then and I regret it now. Whilst I wouldn't say she's the definition of don't judge a book by its cover, she's a close second. I need to be honest, whilst I love this book, and yes, I would love for it to be the definition don't judge a book by its cover, I need to still say it's Arachnid from Series 2. But Vespic is a close second. But her abilities and her fight elevates her to being a fantastic beast. Her design is great. Looking at it close up now, and her performance in Battle of the Beasts, she is the beast that I did not expect to make it into the final 10. And to know that she did, I am just thrilled with this. I know what her opponent is in round 5, and I'm not going to give anything away, but it's going to be a good battle. And I'm going to give her and the beast that she goes against justice. But with that, that is my retrospective on Series 6. I'm aware I did name more negatives, but there isn't really many positives which I can highlight because between Series 5 and 7, Series 6 is just there, but it's a great continuation of Series 5 and continues on to Series 7 with a great cliffhanger, in my opinion, making this duology become a trilogy. And in Series 7, it goes from a trilogy to a quadrilogy. Quadrilogy, where Series 7 ends on another, not really a cliffhanger, but a kind of somber note where it continues on into Series 8. So, yeah, I would say this is a quadrilogy. I can't even say the word right. Quadrilogy of 4 great seasons, and in my opinion, Series 6 is the weakest of them all. But not a bad thing, no. Because, like I said, Series 6 has some great beasts here, being Vespic, Merc, and Fang. Komodo, I would say, is good. Terra, Muro, to me, I can swap Muro and Terra around, so yeah, but right now, Muro is my least favorite of the series. As for other highlights I need to say about the series, personally, I do think the story is done well. Introduces Mark and Queen Remain. Freya gets healed, and Velmal gets defeated for now. We'll see him 9 seasons later. But for that, that is all for Velmal. That is all for Kaonia for now. And that is all from me for now. And with that, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you, wrong hand, and I'll see you next time.